What are you even doing here? You were told yesterday you're not invited. That's what my brother's bride said at the wedding I helped pay for. I only smiled and answered, got it. But before I go, meet my guest, someone you know well. The second she saw who it was, she collapsed. I turned, walked out, and flagged the last payment as disputed. Half an hour later, my brother was on the phone shouting, please tell me this isn't real. I'm Mark, 32. The older brother. The built-in driver. The moving crew. The guy who knows exactly which breaker cuts the kitchen lights because I labeled it. I repair point-of-sale systems for a paycheck and patch family problems for free. I mute the family group chat but still drag chairs and a cooler to gatherings because I said I would. My parents like to say we're a traditional family. That usually means Evan's the favorite. He's 29. All charm and momentum. He drifts, I plan. When he announced he was marrying Leia just 11 months after they met on a rooftop, Mom cried like it was a movie ending and Dad said, finally, someone with sparkle. I heard, Mark, grab your wallet. And like always I did. I scheduled tastings, called vendors, built a color-coded spreadsheet so intense it hurt my eyes. Leia hugged me in a way that felt like a receipt, tight, warm, and itemized. Later she told me I was handsy with details, which sounded both like praise and a warning. I told myself, stay useful, stay quiet. The rehearsal was at a rehabbed brick warehouse, strung with lights that made everyone look prettier. I hauled in garment bags, 2 cases of seltzer, checked on the sound guy, taped down a cable no one else noticed. Leia strolled in 40 minutes late, white sneakers, a blazer that wore itself. She kissed Mom's cheek, air-kissed mine, and kept moving. That night, I ironed my shirt, lined up my shoes, silenced my phone. I wanted 8 steady hours before the storm. Didn't get them. Too many people carry access to me in their heads. The next day, I dropped off a garment steamer like the reliable extra I always am. Leia turned, saw me, and her smile cut out instantly. What are you even doing here? You were uninvited yesterday. Her tone was flat, like she was scolding a caterer who brought the wrong trays. The air froze. Bridesmaids halted mid-mascara. Mom coughed her warning cough. Evan wasn't there. Just us. Instinct. Lighting. I didn't raise my voice. I keep mine in a drawer labeled calm. Understood, I said. But before I go, meet my guest, an old friend of yours. A beat. That half-second when your brain flips through scripts. I stepped aside. Naomi walked in. Leia's face cycled fast. Surprise, calculation, denial, then blank. She inhaled once and crumpled to the rug, a slow, careful faint, like a curtain drawing itself closed. Someone gasped. Someone said her name twice. Someone pressed a cold seltzer can to her forehead. I stayed still. Naomi too. We were expected, just not welcome. Mark. Mom's voice hissed. Eyebrow hooked like a fishing line. What is this history? She asked face to face. I set the steamer by the mirror, nodded to Naomi and left. No running. No looking back. The hallway smelled of eucalyptus and hairspray. The string lights hummed. Outside, I straightened my tie, took a photo of the sky like an idiot, and walked toward the lot. No raised voices yet. No phone calls. Just that familiar feeling. The pipe I'd warned about finally burst. I didn't mention money. I didn't talk contracts. Didn't touch my phone. I let the first domino fall by itself. If you want to know why I brought Naomi into that room, you need to understand the months leading up to that door, and the years that trained me to hold it open. Evan was born with charm. He could spill a glass at dinner and make Grandma laugh. I was born with practicality. I'd clean it up. We both got praised, but his applause always lasted longer. He's got the spark, Mom said. Mark's the steady one, Dad added. Like steadiness wasn't the thing that keeps the roof from leaking. Money became a theme before I even had my own. At 19, I worked nights in a warehouse and mornings at a coffee shop to cover tuition. Builds character, Dad said, which meant no help. When Evan was 19, he took a gap year to explore, and got a used Subaru with a bow. Safety, Mom called it. We take care of ours. Translation. I take care of ours. The first time Evan asked me for a bridge loan, it was for an apartment deposit. Then more bridges followed. A camera for a YouTube channel that died after 6 videos. A security deposit he forgot about. Fees from a job he quit because the boss didn't value talent. Mom labeled these investments. I called them what the receipts did. The humiliations added up in drips. I'd show up to dinner with a cheesecake I bought and Mom would say, "Evan, cut it. Let your brother relax for once." Like I was a guest at a restaurant. When Grandma had to move in for a bit, Evan got the big bedroom. He needs space to create. My toolbox sat in the hallway. When I earned a promotion, Mom texted, "So proud. Can you take Friday off to help Leia with the seating chart?" When Evan met Leia, our family learned a new word, vision. She filled rooms with it. She spoke with her hands and wore clothes that looked effortless until you caught the label. She was quick with thanks, and quicker with one little favor. Within a month, I'd fixed her Wi-Fi, built 3 chairs, and taken an Uber across town to rescue her from a weird driver because Evan was busy. She paid me with a latte and a cheek kiss that vanished instantly but stayed remembered. The engagement was theater. Evan rented a boat. Leia cried beautifully. Mom posted 2 souls, 1 story. Dad wrote proud father. I turned their 1 story into docs and calendar invites. At the first tasting, the caterer slid a folder to me, not Evan. I didn't ask her to. It just happens when you walk like the one who reads the fine print. Leia handed it back. "Mark loves that stuff," she said. "He's our spreadsheet." I made the first payments because the venue required 1 payer. $3,500 to lock in the room. "We'll reimburse," Mom said. $1,200 for a band that earnestly covered 90s songs. "We'll settle next week," Dad said. $750 for chairs that looked more like sculptures than seats. "Just float it for now," Leia said. Our cards maxed from life stuff. That "for now" became a recurring character. After the 4th one, I started a tab in my sheet. Family wedding dates amounts. A returned column that stayed stubbornly blank. I logged it like weather because I'm done arguing about rain with people who only step outside when it's sunny. The smaller things piled up. "Adults-only ceremony," Leia said. "Except Evan's godson, obviously." When I asked about sitting with work friends, she said, "You'll love them." I'd met them once. They called me Mike for an hour. When I asked about a +1, she smiled. "You don't do +1s. That's so not you." I stayed quiet because Evan's happiness looked fragile enough to bruise. And then Naomi showed up, like a footnote that turned into the whole book. She DM'd me at 1:13 a.m., 2 months before the wedding. We'd met once, at a housewarming. She was Leia's old roommate, the one who moved out because she didn't vibe with the neighborhood. Her note was short. "Call me about Ela. It's important." When people say that, it's usually about gossip. This didn't feel like gossip, it felt heavier. We met at a riverside diner on a Tuesday. Naomi showed up in a hoodie, barefaced, looking like someone who hadn't slept without a nightlight in weeks. She slid a folder across the linoleum like I was a loan officer. "Layla owes me $12,800, she said. "That's not even counting the utilities she stuck me with when we lived together." Inside the folder were receipts, screenshots, even a small claims case number that made my stomach clench. And it wasn't just Naomi. A photographer. A florist. Other vendors. All burned the same way. She books. Cancels. Vanishes. Sometimes puts someone else's name down as the payer, Naomi explained. Her eyes were exhausted. "Lately, your name's the one on file. That's why I tracked you down." "Why tell me?" I asked. "Because you look like the guy who pays. The one they'll call when it all collapses." I called Ela. Reflex, not choice. Fairness is a habit I can't shake. Naomi's jealous. Ela snapped back, quick as a tennis serve. "She wants Evan." "Evan?" I asked. That wasn't in my deck. "I mean, she's into him. It's weird. Don't give it oxygen." I never told Evan. I didn't know how to lob a grenade without being the one who pulled the pin. What I did do was start demanding contracts naming the actual payer. Ela said I was intense. Told Mom I was making everyone feel broke. Mom called me. "Lighten up. It's a wedding, not a tax audit." But the week before the ceremony, 2 vendors emailed me invoices I'd never seen. Final payment due tomorrow. Not small sums. Then the venue sent a cheerful reminder. We'll charge the saved card. The saved card was mine. I called Ela. Why is my card saved? Convenience, she said. You're so good at logistics. Delete it, I told her. A pause. Then don't be selfish, Mark. I laughed, actually laughed, and it startled both of us. Selfish is expecting my card to close out your wedding. She hung up. 5 minutes later, Mom called. Don't be spiteful. This is your brother's day. It's also my limit, I said. The next day, Ela texted. Due to tension, you're no longer in the wedding party. Also, for capacity reasons, we're rescinding your invite. A formal uninvite. Not a conversation, just a notice. Evan added, dude, don't make this about you. Please. That cut deeper than anything else. I didn't sleep. Just replayed Naomi's folder in my head. Dates, payment apps, borrowed till Friday, unpaid balances. Then I pictured my own page. Deposits, due dates, blanks. At 7:15 a.m. on wedding day, I made the choice I should have made 10 years earlier. I wouldn't let my brother walk in blind if I had a way to flip the light on. Naomi agreed to come with me. Not to perform, not to argue, just to stand there, living proof in a room determined to erase her. If she lies right to your face after seeing me, Naomi said, at least you'll know what kind of game you're in. That's how we ended up outside the bridal suite. The uninvite, the introductions, the fainting spell. I still hadn't said a word about money. Still kept the numbers locked behind my teeth. I wanted the truth to stand on its own legs and walk into the room. Later, in the parking lot, I found a strange calm. The kind that only arrives when you've tried everything else. The sky was a brutal blue. A kid nearby practiced skateboard tricks by himself. My phone buzzed, a text from Mom. Come back now. I didn't. 15 minutes later, Evan found me by the hydrangeas. He looked like a magazine groom. And a man who'd just lost 3 years of sleep in one morning. What did you do? He asked. No hello, no easing in, just straight to the wreckage. I brought Naomi, I said. Why? Because she's part of your story. You should read all the chapters before you sign the book. He rubbed his face. Ela says Naomi's stalking her. Ela says a lot of things. Did you see the court docket? He wasn't pretending ignorance. He was neck deep in it. I handed him a manila envelope, the same kind Grandma used, but with very different contents. Copies of Naomi's filings, screenshots of payment requests, invoices with my email as the backup contact, vendor notes saying, we've been through this before. I'd penciled dates at the top like a teacher. He flipped through, skimmed, flipped again. His lips moved around a word he didn't say. Then Mom appeared, stage manager sharp. Mark, fix this. Apologize to Ela. You humiliated us. I looked at Evan. This isn't revenge, I said, slow and clear. It's closure. Mom laughed, dry and humorless. Closure? At a wedding? That's cruel. Cruel, I said softly, is letting your son marry into a life he doesn't understand. The door behind us opened wider. Ela stood there, pale beneath her makeup, her maid of honor fanning her with a program. She saw the envelope in Evan's hands, and her eyes went razor sharp. Don't listen to this. Naomi's obsessed with me, always has been. Mark's jealous of us. He's trying to ruin today. Evan turned to me. Is that true? No, I said. What's true is this. My card is still on file at the venue, and they'll run it at 4. The florist says we owe $2,140 because someone added peonies yesterday. The band sent over a rider I never agreed to. And 3 of the vendors in Naomi's folder have your fiancé on block. Stop, Ela snapped, her voice cutting like glass. You're pathetic. I kept my voice flat. I'm consistent. Then Dad appeared, tie crooked, eyes blazing. You will not destroy this family moment, he shouted, finger pointed. I didn't, I said. You left the stove on and walked out of the room. The maid of honor whispered in Ela's ear. Ela shook her head. Call security, she ordered, still staring at me. Evan lifted a hand. No, he stared at the papers as if staring long enough might make them change language. Is any of this not true? He asked her. She smiled, that same smile I'd seen talk us out of parking tickets and into free upgrades. Baby, please. Today? Really? We'll deal with it later. Answer, he said. Not loud. Final. Her lips flattened. Naomi exaggerates, she said. She gave me money because she wanted to be involved. Now she's punishing me for having boundaries. Did you add my card to vendors without asking? I asked. She turned on me. You offered. You said you wanted to help. I offered to organize, I said. You used my card because I actually follow through. Evan sat on the low wall like someone had pulled the plug. Still holding the folder, he looked up at me with eyes that belonged to a 12-year-old. What do I do? You don't have to get married today, I told him. You can say not like this. You can pause. Keep what's real, and throw out what's already dead. Mom made a choking noise. Mark. Dad stepped forward. If you walk away, you'll regret it forever, he told Evan. If you go in blind, you'll pay for it forever, I countered. Leah moved closer to Evan, voice soft again, hand on his sleeve. Baby, don't let your brother take this from you. He's always been jealous. He's always wanted to play the hero. Being the hero is expensive, I said. I'm done with it. Silence settled between us. A skateboard thudded. Felt thudded. Ronaldo, the venue manager, appeared like he'd wandered into the wrong play. We need a decision on the extra tables, he said. And the bartender needs to know about the open bar in time. Leah seized on it. See, she said. Real things, not drama. We're getting married today. Evan glanced at the ring on his finger, then the manila folder, then Leah's face. He stood, handed the folder back to me. Can I have an hour? He asked her. Absolutely not, she snapped. He nodded once, slower than a second hand moving across a clock. Then I need one anyway, he said. She whispered something about abandonment. Mom started crying. Dad started lecturing. I slid the folder under my arm, turned to the manager. Please cancel all charges on the saved card ending in 2442, I said. That card holder withdraws authorization. My voice didn't shake. I thought it would. It didn't. Leah's head snapped toward me. You can't. I can. It's mine, I said. Ronaldo looked relieved to have a clear directive. Let me check on that, he said and jogged off. Leah's face shifted into something I'd never seen before. Not anger, not charm, not calculation. Fear. It looked real. Get out, she whispered, voice trembling. I'm leaving, I said. But I'm not saving this. That part is done. I touched Evan's shoulder once. He didn't shrug me off. He didn't lean in either. That was okay. It was his hour. I gave it to him. I walked to my car feeling like I'd stepped off stage. Only the understudy refused to go on. In the rear view, I saw Mom clutch Leah's hands. Saw Dad pointing at the sky as if it had insulted him. Saw the bridesmaids pretend to adjust flowers while furiously texting the group chat. Saw the string lights try and fail to hold up the mood. I didn't drive far. Parked 2 blocks away under a tree I used to climb at 10. The leaves shifted like a crowd breathing. My phone lit up. 30 minutes after I left, Evan called screaming. Tell me this isn't true. What isn't? I asked. Calm as a tool. I keep mine sharp. Naomi, the vendors, your card, the peonies, they owe everything. It's true, I said. I have documents. Check your email subject line before you sign. He made a wounded animal sound and hung up. I let him. In my banking app, I flagged the venue's final payment as disputed and disabled the card on file. I canceled 2 automatic gratuities tied to the bar tab. I sent a 1-sentence email to each vendor. I am not the payer. Remove my card from your system effective immediately. I CC'd Ronaldo so there was a human in the loop. I wasn't wrecking a wedding. I was cutting off my oxygen from a room with sealed windows. Mom, 12 missed calls. Daddy. Unknown numbers, 6. Leah. Nothing. She never calls for help. She calls it a story. I flipped my phone face down and stared at the steering wheel until my shoulders slid back where they belonged. Then I called my bank's fraud department. Pending charges at Old Foundry Events and Barcraft Services in the next 3 hours. I said. Cancel my authorization. Keep the deposit, block the rest. The rep walked me through the usual security questions, ones I could answer half asleep. We'll flag them, he said. You may still have to respond to merchant claims. I told him, I can handle paperwork. He chuckled like that made me ancient. Ronaldo texted. Got your note. We paused the last run. We'll need a new card to continue. I typed back. I won't provide one. Direct questions to the couple. He replied, understood. Wishing you all the best. Hospitality workers ought to run the world. At 3:11, Ava, one of Ila's bridesmaids, posted a boomerang of champagne with the caption, some people can't stand joy. I ignored it. I value my lifespan. By 3:18, Evan called again, his voice frayed. Naomi invented everything, he said. Did you call her? I asked. Yes, he whispered. He forwarded me her small claims receipt and a text from Leia. Please don't ruin this for me. I didn't say I told you so. He's my brother, not a sparring partner. What do you want? I asked. Silence. Then, I don't know. You can say not today, I told him. Some will be angry. Others will feel relieved. But tomorrow you'll still wake up as yourself. Dad texted a wall of blame. You sabotaged your brother. You shamed your mother. You owe us money. I stopped reading. Blocked him for 12 hours. Because I deserved 12 hours. By 4 o'clock, the parking lot looked like a staging area. Guests in formal wear pacing in circles. The florist wheeled her cart back to the van, her face blank. The band smoked by the dumpster. The sky drifted toward late. At 4:21, Evan texted, we're postponing. One more word. Indefinitely. I leaned my head back against the seat and stared at a tree until it stopped meaning something, and went back to just being a tree. 5 minutes later, Leia sent her first and last message to me. You will pay for this. I didn't respond. Consequences aren't invoices I accept by text. At home, I draped my shirt over a chair, washed my face, and called Naomi. You okay? I asked. Yes and no, she said. Then again, yes. Thank you. I said thank you back. No bow on it, just two tired people who did a hard thing. That night, Evan arrived at my door with a duffel and eyes burned out like he'd stared too long at a projector. For 2 minutes, silence. Then, I'm sorry. Then, I hate you. Then, thank you. I made tea because my hands needed a job. He crashed on my couch. He woke at 2:37 for 12:05:06. I didn't try to regulate his breathing. I'm learning. In the morning we ate toast. He noticed the spreadsheet taped inside a manila folder on my counter, the one labeled family wedding. You kept track, he said. Not a question. I have to, I said. Otherwise it's just story versus story. He nodded like it landed heavy. I want to pay you back. Start by not adding my card to your life, I said. Sharper than I meant. He nodded anyway. Okay. Weeks passed. The noise faded. People get tired when gossip stops spinning. Ela posted something polished, like ad copy for a candle brand. We're choosing to delay until we can celebrate with full hearts. She blocked Naomi. She never tried to apologize to me. That's fine. I'm no longer a gate she needs to pass through. Mom cycled through rage, silence, nostalgia. Dad tried out a parable about brothers in a field that fell apart midway, and ended with a plea for me to be bigger. I told him, I already am bigger than the role you wrote for me. Then I blocked him another 12 hours. 12 hours is my tithe to sanity. Evan found a therapist who specializes in untangling. He returned the spare key I didn't realize he still had. I'll ask next time, he said. And next time came, when he needed help canceling a ring insurance policy billed to my email. I gave him the number, and went back to my coffee. He called himself. The vendors were kinder than I deserved. The florist refunded part of the deposit because you were honest. The venue kept the initial fee but waived the rest. I wrote thank you emails like a grandmother with fancy stationery. I wrote down new rules where I could see them. No shared cards. No just till Friday. No co-signing. No secret rescues. If my name's on the bill, I control the bill. If not, I stay out. If someone says family first, I hear boundaries first. Because if you don't draw them, someone else will. Around you like crime scene tape, and call it love. I didn't wreck a wedding. I stopped a pattern. That's what I remind myself when guilt knocks at midnight like a polite guest. I didn't cause the mess. I stopped paying for it. Here's the line, said once for the record and then lived in small ways. This isn't revenge. This is closure. Closure looks like hanging up. Like removing a card. Like not showing up to yesterday's uninvited party. Like stepping into a bright parking lot and breathing until your lungs remember how. I hope Evan builds something steady that doesn't smell like smoke. I hope Mom learns to love without managing optics. I hope Dad finds a story where the steady sun isn't measured by how many candles he pays for. I hope Hila pays what she owes to the people she used and stops disguising it as ambition. But whether they change or not, here's what I know. I'm done being the automatic funding source, the contingency plan, the +1 to other people's chaos. I'll show up when invited with respect, not demanded with expectation. I'll keep receipts, not grudges. I'll choose my moments, and if a room decides I'm furniture, I'll leave. I check my locks. I sleep. I cook eggs. I answer calls when I choose. And if someone asks, "What are you even doing here?" I smile and say, "Spending exactly what I need."